Hey guys, I'm putting up a new video today that I have wanted to do for a long time. This is a little bit of a search, personal search that I have gone through on finding the perfect phone-mounted bicycle case. I've got four different examples here that I'm going to kind of talk about some pros and cons of each one, and what ultimately I ended up with. So stay tuned, and I'm going to go through each one and show you what I've got. So let's talk about the first phone holder that I looked for. Now, some of the things that I wanted when I chose a phone case and mount for my road bicycle is, one, I didn't want to have to take it in and out of the case to mount it to my bike. I didn't want to have to put it in a special case that was cumbersome and heavy and awkward looking, and then have to mount it to my bike. The next thing I wanted is something that was very low profile, didn't stick out a lot, didn't affect the aerodynamics and drag on my bicycle. And thirdly, I didn't want something that weighed a ton. I didn't want something huge and bulky. So this is the first one that I got, and actually still one that I like very, very much. It's very simple. It's a brand called Menorah. And I'll get this mounted to this demonstration handlebar and stem combo and show you kind of how it works. Okay, so I got this first one mounted. There's a number of ways you can mount it. You can mount it on the actual bars up here itself, or you can mount it on the stem. Now this is where I choose to mount it, just because, as you can see, it doesn't sit up too high. It puts it right in the center. You can move it forwards or backwards and just basically have it in the center, and everything just looks kind of clean and centered. You know, offset, it works, but it doesn't look quite as clean. Now, starting off with this particular case mount weighs 99 grams, so right at about 100 grams. And I can fit my iPhone 6 in this. Now, if you have a real bulky case like, you know, say a OtterBox Defender case or something like that, then it's going to be too big for this. But I'll put the case in there that I have and show you kind of how it fits. So first off, to adjust this, it squeezes in and out, and you have a button underneath that you can push. The phone case would just slide in from the top, and you squeeze it side to side. So it does a good job of fitting in there. Holds it fairly securely, and I think it looks pretty good. So the drawbacks to this one are you have to have a round stem. An oval stem won't work, and a square one obviously won't work. The mount underneath is round, so it's only going to fit on a round stem. The other drawback is it does kind of sit up high, and it does sit a little bit back far out of your field of vision, so you do have to look down a little bit more when you want to glance at your notifications. It's in a fixed position, so it only goes straight. Now there's a bolt in here that you can loosen and rotate the whole thing to landscape mode, but once you tighten that bolt back down, you can't switch it back and forth on the fly. It's a fixed position once it's tightened down. So this is the first one that I used. I like it because a lot of other people, say if I'm out with friends or if I have a couple bikes and somebody wants to bring their phone with them, this works really well because most people's phones will fit in this. So it's kind of a good universal mount. I don't have to take it out of my existing case to use it. And it's pretty light at 99 grams. Now let's move on to the next one that I looked for. So the next one I'm going to talk about is a little bit heavier. Actually, it's a lot heavier. This one weighs about 286 grams, and it's in a different kind of concept. This one is a top cap mount. So you've got this little piece here that replaces your top cap, and I'm just going to set this here for demonstration purposes. And next you've got a piece that looks like this. This is hinged here. This is the bolt for your top cap. And you've got a mount. Mounts right in here. And so once this is in here, this can be positioned up and down pretty much wherever you want. Now this will stay tight once this cap is tightened down. So you can pull it up like that or move it down, which is nice because then you can pull your phone up and down and adjust the angle to it. And you can move it side to side as well. I'm going to pull this off real quick so you can see the next spot. Now the next part to this is the case. I've not actually used this case. Now it looked interesting online. There's a button on the side similar to the other one where the sides open up and that cinches down. Then you've got your stop for your phone to fit down in there. So once again, this is one that you can use without having to take your phone out of the case. And so it would fit right in like that and fit like that. Now the reason this one is much heavier is because it comes with this cool thing at the bottom. This almost looks like another phone, but it's not. It's a backup battery. And this will completely recharge your phone at least once, if not 1.5 times. 6,000 milliamp battery that slides right on the bottom. And then you've got your charging port right here, and you run your little wire right up to your phone, and you're able to charge your phone. In the box, it does come with your adapters and your charging cable, so that's kind of cool. But as you can see, it's quite bulky. Now to install this, this just slides right on. There you go. Like that. Click, and that would mount right there. Now as you can see, it is very bulky and sits up quite a bit higher. So this is one that I've never used. Now it wasn't a total waste because I do have the backup battery for it, which is kind of cool. The backup battery is quite small, and I usually will just stick it in my pocket. And then I can charge my phone on the go when I'm out. So kind of a cool idea, and it might work for some. But for somebody who's looking for something light and aerodynamic and really unobtrusive and, you know, looks professional, for lack of a better term, then this probably is way too big and not what you're looking for. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is a very similar concept in where it mounts on this top cap, but it comes with an adapter that you can actually mount it to your stem and or your handlebars. So I'll show you that one next. So this third mounting system that I have is one that I'm currently using now. Now it's not the current setup that I'm using now, but the concept is basically the same. This is from a brand called Topeak, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And it works the same way, where it's a top cap mount that's positional. And it clicks into a case. Now the difference between this one and the other one that you saw is this is kind of cool. As it is on the fly, you can actually turn your phone from portrait to landscape. So, say if you were actually wanting to take a little video, you can flip it straight up and record in landscape while your phone is still connected to your bike, which I thought was kind of cool. Now this is the case that it comes with, and I did say before that I wanted something that you wouldn't have to take out of the case. That being said, this case is extremely light and extremely easy to take on and off, so it wasn't as much hassle as I thought it would be. And to boot, it's got a kickstand. Now some people will choose just to use this case all the time. I actually just switch back and forth. Because it's easy enough to get on and off. So to mount this on, just the same way, this slides on the back and clicks. Very low profile. Sits very low to the handlebars when adjusted. And it's very light. This particular system, with the mount and the case and the bolt and everything, weighs 82 grams. So a lot less than the two others. Now the other advantage to using the Topeak one is in the box it comes with this particular mount. This mount makes it so you can actually mount it here on the handlebar or the stem, or up here, and it gives you a lot of other mounting options instead of just here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, pretty much anywhere that you think you can, get this on a round piece of stock. And I bet this would work on an oval and a square one as well, just because this is rubberized on the back. So really cool. So this is what I'm using for a little while until I finally got my newest one in the mail a few days ago. So let me show you what that one is. So the last one that I'm going to show you is this one by Topeak. And I'm sure some of you are saying, wait, isn't that the one you just showed us before? Actually, this is the other one. A little bit shorter, but virtually the same. This one is 55 grams. This one is 40 grams. So a little bit less weight, a little bit shorter. You can still mount it on the top cap. You can still mount it here, here, or here. But on this one comes with the accessory. So it can be mounted on the front of your stem. Now what that does is it puts the viewing angle of your phone out in front of you instead of down here. Now I've intentionally moved this out of the screen so you can see, is if you're looking down, you almost can't see it. But now we can see it. So while you're cycling, you don't have to look down much at all and take your eyes off the road. So I'm going to move over. This is what I currently have mounted to my bicycle. So the first thing you'll notice is it comes with this mounting plate to mount to your stem, which extends the mount out. Now normally, when this is mounted, it was designed to be mounted on the top screws. Well, what that did, if I can give you an example with this backup battery, is put that still a little bit high and still out in the wind. What I did, and I modified this just slightly, is took the longer mount, which I already had, and replaced the shorter one with the longer one and mounted it on the bottom. Now what it does is it actually fits in line with the stem and makes it much more aerodynamic. So here's what this looks like mounted, and then I'm going to throw a picture up of what it actually looks like in my phone. But as you can see, I can adjust it up and down, but from a head-on view, it almost disappears. So you can imagine this doesn't affect your aerodynamics at all. So overall, you've seen these different types of mounts that I have, and I hope this helps somebody out there. Now, I'll still constantly be searching for the perfect one. This one so far seems to be doing everything I want it to, but if somebody invents something even better, I'll be definitely open to try it. I know there's different types of twist lock ones out there, but yet again, those sit up a little bit higher and weren't quite as streamlined as this one was and as light. So let me know what you think of in the comments, and if you have any suggestions or have come up with something better for your bike.